Hi. Namaste. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. I just thought I'd do a quick video. We'll be doing one again later. But obviously the description boxes are limited in these videos, and I fill them up every time with the links to either other videos or courses or information, evidence, etc. So I've missed a few off, so I'm going to put those in today. But additionally, I just wanted to say that it's amazing what's going on right now. I've had loads of people sending me stuff today. And it's important to remember, because it is a difficult time for people in different parts of the world. But everyone, our rights are being eroded. Our human rights are being eroded by people everywhere in positions of power. And standing up for ourselves is important. And speaking out is important. And, all of the, we've had more protests in the last year than ever before. And what that shows us as individuals and as a collective is that we're all going through the same thing, and those same rights are being eroded everywhere. And not only that, but also proves, as time continues and as more people join the protests and this momentum in this movement, it proves without a shadow of a doubt that those that are in these positions of power, in governments and the ruling class and the ones that have been capitalising on the masses forever, it proves that they are solely doing what they want for themselves and not for the people, by the sheer number of people that are all speaking out, that are all joining protests. It proves it, because we all want the same things, and these things are just not being done. So the movement itself, the protests themselves, the people speaking out, the millions and millions of people all over the world that are protesting and continuing to do so, proves that the people that we have voted into positions of power to serve the people are simply not serving the people. They're serving themselves. So the more that we join in, the more people that speak out, it is a moment in time, in history, and it's all being recorded, it's all being shared, there's evidence of it, and the more people that see it and realize, yeah, actually, it isn't right, and our rights are being eroded. And I'm going to share some videos with you from this amazing channel called The Grey Zone. I've shared with you before. So the guy is called Aaron Mate. I apologise if I haven't said your name right. And various Matt Blumenthal and various other speakers that they have to come in and talk about a lot of the topics. They have, CIA agents, FBI, ex-FBI agents. They have lecturers, professors in these topics. And one of the videos I'm going to show you today, which is about Russia, and it proves, so this is going back to when it was like Russiagate, in terms of meddling with the election and subsequent attacks, the way it's been portrayed in the media, let's not forget. So an inquiry was done on this, and in this video, they're going to show you clips of the actual inquiry. And the inquiry, this is in is the Senate, the Supreme Court, I think you'll see. And it proves that it was, at various points, that people have lied in these investigations. And then in contrast, what they do is they then show the media coverage of the same thing. And what the media, aka Murdoch, because if you have watched my previous video and you understand the sheer extent to his dynasty empire, is that he owns the majority of radio networks, TV networks, printed press. So what they've done, and it's really interesting to see it in comparison. So you've got the actual evidence, the facts from inside a court where somebody is answering questions on these topics and saying, no, it was, it's proven to be a lie or fabricate, that things have been changed, documents have been changed, and it wasn't true. So the media is making Russia out to have been, have these bad actions, bad intentions, but actually it isn't true. But then again, and then this is where they show you in contrast how the media does it. And so what they'll say, you'll get one channel going, oh, as confirmed by, and then they'll list, oh, the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. And all three of them, the network that's doing the interview and the other people that they reference, are all owned by Murdoch. And therefore all are lying, because it's going to show you the actual footage of the inquiry in a court and what was said. So this is a really important one to watch, because then it'll explain very, very clearly how this propaganda machine works. And it isn't just on this one topic. I've got other topics on how that media machine propaganda works to try and stir up something that doesn't even exist, to cause division. So there's a few of them that I'll put in here. There's also the other thing about these protests, of which there are continuing, and millions of people joining in, countries all over the world, and all of the new channels that are being set up, and everyone's doing living room networks and their own home networks, and everyone's doing their own research and coming up with the same, coming up with all of the evidence proving that these people are all corrupt. And it's on both sides. That's the thing. It's not one side more than the other. Over here, so you've got Conservative and Labour. We're coming up for local elections. People should not be voting for Conservative and Labour in any way, shape or form. Let's not forget all of the corruption that has been exposed this year. Let's not forget that they spent billions of pounds of taxpayers' money on PPE that was not the right specification and couldn't be used, and it's just sat in a warehouse somewhere. Let's not forget all of the mates, contracts that have been not gone through the correct process of an RFP and have just been given to mates who haven't got even experience in that area. Let's not forget the billions of pounds that have been spent of taxpayers' money to build 6 hospitals that were never once used and then have been taken down. Let's not forget the billions of pounds that they are using to restart nuclear weaponry, which nobody wants. Let's not forget that they are passing laws without checks and balances, that are not going through the normal process and are just being put through and rubber stamped before anyone has to debate about them. I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what they have done. And on Labour's side, you cannot trust Keir Starmer. Oh, sorry, not sorry. You cannot trust him. And this is a shame, because there are people that are in these parties that are good, but unfortunately, it ain't working, is it? And it's not worked for a very long time. But Keir Starmer, Sir Keir Starmer, let's not forget, is as corrupt as the rest of them. And Labour has sat by, having watched Parliamentary Questions and the Parliamentary Channel. I know they just have stood. It's like a playground in there. It's just tit for tat, and nothing is getting done. And you know, they do it. They talk about it a lot in the Financial Times and other reputable papers, and about how he's the king of, you know, retrospect. And you know, that's exactly all it is. Something will happen. Labour won't vote on it. They'll abstain. So they're not even having their voice counted. And then afterwards they go, oh, see, we told you so. We told you. It's like you didn't even do anything. What good is that? How are you helping the people with that kind of comment after the fact? Whoop-de-fucking-do. So in terms of local elections that are happening this week, vote for independent people. The Labour and this duopoly is not working for us no more. It's not once worked. We're under an illusion. You know, we're voting for people to try and do the best for us and represent us in on the global stage, if you like. And they aren't representing what the people want. They're not even paying people pay rises. NHS staff, all the frontliners. What about carers? 1% is an insult. It's a slap in the face. These people did millions and millions of hours of overtime for free. Think about the effect on their mental health. Well, these lot just sit and tootle about in the number 10 and in Parliament. Like, it's a joke. They aren't frontliners. They're not frontliners. And so firstly, everyone should be engaged in this vote. Anyone who is of a legal age to vote, because it's important more than any other vote before. And find out who, I'm going to put a link in, you can find out who the people are that are up for election in your local area. Vote for independent people. Vote for people from smaller parties that actually give a shit about this country, that want something that's better. I'm not going to sit here and list them, it's too long. But get engaged. Our voices matter. Our vote matters. We are the ones that can change who is in power and who has the majority. And frankly, at this point, is even the traditional way working at this whole majority vote? Conservatives only care about themselves and their backers and their donors and their money. Straight. So surely just a coalition of independents, a coalition of the smaller parties, of voices, all working together for the same thing, which is to actually get done what needs to be done at this point, and not favour people and give contracts to people who shouldn't have them without having gone through the process. It's just not fair. It's not fair on the other companies that are just as good, that aren't even getting a look in because they're just giving it to people they know. And they aren't You know, they aren't looking after our police. They aren't looking after our NHS. They aren't looking after our social services and mental health services. People on waiting lists for years. What's going to happen in years after this time here? People need to be seen now, not there, not in a year's time. God only knows what's going to happen in the next year. A complete change, and it is in our hands. It's literally in our hands, because our vote is what makes whoever's in power. So it is in our hands. Voting matters, a vote matters, our voice matters. And the only way we're going to change it is if we actually get engaged in the politics of this country and the voting of this country, and who stands in our communities. And if they've got passion and purpose and aren't corrupt like the others, then they should be the ones. Give younger people, younger generation a chance. Younger people that are standing for local elections. Anyway, that was my that was my little thing about that. So where was I? Oh yeah, there's another. This is right. There's 2 things, 3, maybe 4. There's a channel called Democracy Now, and there was a protest over the weekend. There's been 2 shootings in the last week, I believe. One is of a 22-year-old guy called Anthony Alvarez, and one is of a 13-year-old boy, Adam Toledo. Both of these were not armed, and it was a foot chase, and the 13-year-old boy had his hands up and he didn't have a weapon and was shot, and the Anthony Alvarez was running away, but I don't believe he had a weapon either, and he was shot in the back. And this is in Chicago. The person who's in chief of police, or I excuse me if I get these titles wrong, because I've only just seen this in passing. Obviously, I was just writing my notes, but he said he was interviewed and said the words about both of these shootings. They were 100% good shootings. Okay? What? Excuse me? This guy here, so there's somebody calling for him to resign, and I absolutely agree. I'm going to put the name of this guy in because he needs to be named and shamed. You can't be having people. It just, and this is the other thing. I was saying at the beginning about why these protests. It's important to stand up and be counted, to stand for something more than ever before. And the more that we do it, the more it exposes their fuckery. Just the mere standing up and being counted about these injustices that are happening all around the world proves that we're all experiencing the same thing, proves that all of these things are happening, that they aren't lies, proves that this is injustice from the top down, proves that they are not listening to the people, and they're not working for the people, and they're not doing anything that the people want. So why are they even in power? These are the people, you know what I mean? And so the longer that this goes on, the more that we speak out, the more the people that join it, it just makes the momentum stronger, and exposes them more. And you can see it, they're flailing around, making mistakes, and they're exposing themselves. So masonry, yeah, I know people do, yeah. Freemasonry, yeah. There's loads of them. There's loads of this is the thing. I'll put a link into this other thing. There's loads of secret societies that are at work. There's loads of secret societies. And because I know about Freemasonry. My dad was one, and it was obviously, and I've looked into it since because I didn't understand it. And they just give each other, once they're in that secret society, then you're kind of a group of people that are in positions of power that are all just kind of helping each other out and no one else. Oh, they are all under the Masons. No, I've just sorry, I'm just trying to read this. What? So who's under the Masons? Everybody in the government are under Masons. Is that what you're saying? Sorry, I'm just reading the script. Anyway, while you're doing that, I know that lots of people are. I know as far as go. So I've got links to that anyway. I've done it previously, but I'll show it again. So yeah, so the more that, oh right, I see what you're saying. Right. So the more that we expose it, the more the greater the momentum becomes, and the more people all around the world will see it, because it's all being recorded, it's all being shared, it's all being spoken about more and more and more and more and more. So the vote recount. Listen, you've got to. This is what I say on both sides. Yeah, both. Whether it's over here, Conservative, Labour, and whether it's over that side, for Democrats and Republicans. So that you've got this here where they're doing this recount. You've got the recount going on. Concerns over lack of transparency from the company that's doing it. So I'm going to share you a link to this video. It's very interesting. They could be doing anything to these presidential votes. How would anyone know if they're not being transparent about what they're doing and they're not letting people check? They've had people chucked out. And then the final thing I'm going to do for now, before I, because I'm going to come back on later, the final thing I'm going to talk about is this Maxwell. The royal practice of witchcraft hidden from society or trafficking from. Yeah. Royal practice of witchcraft hidden from society. Yeah. No, I know. I've spoken about that from the beginning. Yeah. So, what am I saying here? Maxwell. Now, there's a guy called Sean Atwood, and he's got a true crime channel. And this is important. This is also important for what's going on one level, because they know a lot of names, don't they? They know a lot of people in positions of power, Maxwell and Epstein, and obviously he didn't. He commits suicide. Now, this Maxwell, her case has been pushed back. Now, what Sean Atwood is saying is that he thinks that this could be the start of where they're just going to keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And the evidence against her is obviously increasing. So if anyone out there, if there are any survivors out there, you need to come forward to make sure that she ain't got no plea bargain whatsoever, because the world needs to know this list. And the other thing about it as well, because when it's dangerous is when one person knows. When only one person knows, and then it's dangerous for that person, isn't it, against all of these people. But if you get the names and release the names all at the same time to the world, then everyone knows. Then you got this 99% knowing, and then against the 1%. So there's nothing they could do about it. They can't kill everybody, and it'll be a much easier an easier way to get them, because you could tell there's some squeaky bums around the place in higher up positions, and unfortunately it's going to be people in politics and business and royal family, plural. So they need to make sure that this case, not only does it need to go ahead, definitely, they can't keep pushing it back. And this makes a joke of them saying it has to be pushed back, because the reason that they've given is because of COVID restrictions, which can't be true, because they just did the Chauvin trial, right? They managed to get that one through quite sharpish. So why this one? Why this one? Why does this one keep getting pushed back? You know what I mean? So I'm going to put a link into. Yeah, they can't. It's total bullshit. Exactly. Thank you. So I'm going to hashtag the judge and the Supreme Court and the Senate and that on this, because it is BS of any of you to say that this case needs to be pushed back again, or for any longer than the next date that is, I think it's in July. The people, because this isn't just an American thing, because it touches people in lots of places, in terms of survivors and in terms of those that are responsible. And everyone needs to know about their fuckery. Everyone needs to know, that's a really awful word to use on the basis, I apologise, take that back. But everyone needs to know about their evil, for want of a better word. They need to know who these paedophiles are. They need to know who these sex traffickers are. Everyone needs to know. Everyone. And I can't imagine it's a nice place to be in because of who they are, but it doesn't matter. Justice is justice, and it needs to be done, and it needs to be done here. It needs to be done for all of those victims, and it needs to be done to stop it from continuing. And it needs, exactly, thank you, yeah. And it needs to be, and you can't use that excuse. You cannot use because of COVID restrictions, we can't do it. No, you can, because you just did it. You've just done it. You've just done it for Derek Chauvin. So you can do it. You absolutely can. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard. And all that shows, again, is, well, they got into you as well then? Are you just trying to protect these paedophiles and these sex traffickers? Don't look good for you either. So someone somewhere's got to have a backbone. Someone somewhere in the justice system in America has got to have a backbone enough to make sure that this goes to court, and that she has to expose these people somehow, some way. So that was my thoughts for right now. I'm going to put the links into all of these and catch up from the links from yesterday, because there's also that one I said about Lauren Boebert, who is trying to push the pipeline onto Native American reservations. So I'll put all of those in, and they are all important. So watch them all if you have a moment. They're not all long. And yeah, I will see you again later. Good work, team. Love everybody. Everyone's smashing it out the park. Oh, and black belt barrister. This guy is a badass. Yeah, he's giving out free legal advice from a black belt barrister. Big up. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool as. So I'm going to share his channel. Like and subscribe his channel. He is a legend. And there are other legends emerging all the time. Every day, superheroes. Yay! Love you. And I will speak to you later.